Hello everybody, and welcome to another video. Now today we're going to be doing something a little bit different. Today we're going to be looking at a band called Onuka. Onuka? I'm not sure if that's how it's pronounced. Anyway, they are a Ukrainian electro-folk band that was created in 2013 by Ukrainian musicians, and I'm probably going to pronounce these horribly wrong, so I do apologise. Yevhen Filatov and Nata Zhizchenko, sorry. The band's instrumentation includes electronic drums, trombones, French horns, and Ukrainian folk instruments, the bandura and the sopilka. Now, the band's name, Onuka, translates to granddaughter, which is a tribute to the singer Zhizchenko's grandfather, who was a renowned folk instrument maker by the name of Alexander Slionchik. Probably pronounced that horribly, I do apologise. Now, Zhizchenko started her music career as a member of the band Tomato Jaws, a band that she started with her brother. That band remained active for 11 years, with several of its songs being remixed by Yevhen Filatov's band, the Mannequin. Ultimately, this led to the creation of Onuka. Lead singer Nata Zhizchenko believes that she can revitalise old traditions and classic folk instruments such as the bandura and the sopilka, which are used in their music. And they sort of disappeared into obscurity during Soviet times. In 2017, Onuka was actually featured in an interval of the Eurovision Song Contest in 2017, performing with the Naoni Folk Orchestra. So there you go. A lot of information there. Now, we're going to be looking at a track called Zenit, which translates to Zenith, apparently. Now, as I understand it, they do sing in Ukrainian, but I have got a translation here, and I will say, as I always do when I've got a translation, I'm not sure how accurate this translation will be, but it's the best one that I could find. This was like the most searched one. This is like the first one that came up, and the most popular search, etc., etc. So hopefully this is an accurate one. There aren't actually that many lyrics to it, so we'll see. And anyway, I've been waffling on for 3 minutes, so I'm going to jump to the song now. So we're looking at Zenith by Onuka. Let's have a look. strange so far. Well, interesting. That is not at all what I expected. Now, that being said, I did actually very much enjoy that. It was very interesting. It was very strange. You know, they've got a really interesting mixture of instruments going on in that music, and you know, they've got those electronic elements in the background. You know, they've got those that I said before. You know, the sort of electronic drum lines. They've got those that really sort of weird, loud, sort of bellowing in sound in the background, which is used in so many movie trailers. But it was very interesting, very weird. Now, excuse me, I'm going by the actual video itself and what I've read in the lyrics here, and it seems to be, excuse me, it seems to be talking about freedom in nature and essentially unity of the world, essentially. Because if you looked at the video, they seem to be representing several different cultures there. You know, they had what appeared to be like a samurai playing that sort of long flute thing walking through the forest. They had people in sort of tribal like African dress playing like drums. They had somebody in like sort of Chinese outfit playing other instruments. You know, they had all sorts of different cultures sort of in that video, or so it seemed to me. Now, the actual lyrics to the song, they're fairly simple. There aren't very many. It goes, "There where the mountains are high, I fly freely. There where the water is deep, I swim freely. I fly freely in the sky, my melody is strong. There where the mountains are high, I fly freely. There where the water is deep, I swim freely. I fly in the sky, I fly in the sky, I fly in the sky. My melody, my melody. The wind freezes as the sun rises at its zenith, and I am me." And that's it. So it just sounds like they're talking about, you know, freedom in nature. You know, there where the mountains are high, I fly freely. There where the water is deep, I swim freely. You know, at all these points, you know, I am a free person. I am who I want to be. You know, the world in and of itself is just essentially freedom in a way. You know, and there seemed to be a fair amount of, shall we say, pagan imagery within that music video as well. You know, and their main thing is being with nature. You know, nature is a big part of like pagan beliefs and like Wicca and stuff like that. So yeah, so it seems to be a logical connection there, you know, between the sort of apparent paganism of iconography in the video and the meaning of the song talking about nature and freedom and stuff like that. So, and the fact that they've brought in several other cultures, you know, represented in the video, sort of suggests, like, you know, the world as a whole. So yeah, it's interesting. Very strange piece of music. I would very much like to hear some more from them to see where else they go, because that was very strange, but very, very good. I can't really think of anything else to say about it. I really liked it. It was, yeah. I can't think of how else to describe it. What else to say about it? Because very interesting musically, very well performed. I liked the video as well, and she's got a fairly nice voice as well. But yeah, I'd like to hear some more stuff by them. Sort of experience what else they can pull out. But I'm going to leave that as it is for the time being, because I really can't think of what else to say. So yeah, I'll leave that as it is. If anybody would like to suggest a track for me to react to, then please do so by all means. You can drop a comment in the comment section below, or message me on my Facebook or my Instagram, or you can even message me through my Patreon, where you could also help to support this channel and help me create future content. There is also an option on Patreon where you can get your suggestion rushed to the front of the queue. There are a couple of restrictions on that, such as the amount of times you can do it, etc. And that's just to be fair to people who suggest tracks through normal means, like through Facebook, Instagram, or YouTube comments. Because people could take advantage of it and start flooding me with comments, and then people who have suggested on YouTube wouldn't get a chance to have theirs looked at. So yeah, there's that. If you do suggest a track through the regular means, there is a chance it will take me a while to get around to it, since I get suggested so many tracks every single day. My list grows faster than I can record the videos. But I do write down every suggestion I get, so it will get done eventually. It's just going to take me a while to get around to it, unfortunately. Also, Metalhead Reacts is a proud supporter of the Sophie Lancaster Foundation, a British-based charity whose main goal is to put an end to hate crimes, mainly those aimed at people of the alternative culture, people who listen to alternative music or wear alternative fashion. It's something I believe in very, very strongly, and it's something I think desperately, desperately needs to be spoken about a lot more. Because all over the world, every single day, people of the alternative community are getting violently attacked. Sometimes hospitalised, sometimes broken bones, sometimes like invasive injuries like stabs or, stuff like that. And nothing's getting done about it. Nothing's being said about it. There is no media coverage of the fact that this is happening, and that is not good enough. It needs to change. Because every day we hear about all these other hate crimes, like sexism, racism, homophobia, transphobia. We hear about these every single day, and we hear all points on the spectrum, whether it's the most heinous and violent of crimes of someone getting murdered because of the colour of their skin, or because of their religious beliefs, or because of their sexual orientation, down to the very small, minor sort of acts, such as entitled Karen calling the police because somebody of colour is having a picnic in a public space. I mean, I call it a minor incident. It's still a horrible thing to happen. It's still a cruel thing to do. But it's no one's essentially getting severely hurt. It's just somebody showing their true colours and being a complete arse. But all points on the spectrum of these crimes are getting spoken about, yet nothing is getting said about these people that are getting violently attacked. People are getting put into hospital, having bones broken, etc., and nothing's getting said or done. And the people that are perpetrating these crimes are essentially just getting away with it. The last time there was a high-profile case of this that was spread widely across media was 12 years ago, when Sophie Lancaster was violently attacked. Her and her boyfriend were jumped by a group of 5 or 6 people and beaten so viciously that they both ended up in comas. Now, her boyfriend, Rob Melby, he thankfully survived. He was in a coma for maybe just over a week, I can't remember exactly, but he survived. Sophie Lancaster was in a coma for 13 days before she eventually succumbed to her injuries. She was essentially murdered just because she listened to heavy metal and wore like band t-shirts and stuff like that. She was murdered because of her taste in music, and that is unacceptable. It blows my mind that people think that's a valid excuse to attack someone. Why did you beat this person up? Well, they're a goth. What? I don't like their music. Well, if you don't like the music, don't listen to it. If you don't like their clothes, don't look at it. It's simple. It is not an excuse to violently attack someone. You know, and I mean, you don't attack someone because they like different movies and TV shows to you. So what? You know, why their music? You know, it doesn't make any difference to your life what music they listen to, does it? So, you know, why bother? But the thing is, it's not getting spoken about. And like I said, this was 12 years ago. This happened 12 years ago. And I can guarantee you, in that 12 years, several hundred, maybe even thousands of people of the alternative community around the world have been violently attacked in a similar fashion. But it's never getting spoken about because it doesn't end in tragedy. And it shouldn't take someone's death for this to get spoken about. You know, a act of assault is still an act of assault. It doesn't matter who it's on. You know, something needs to be done about it. You know, and that's what the Sophie Lancaster Foundation is all about. They want to bring more attention to the fact that this is happening. You know, that they don't want what happened to their, you know, to their daughter to happen to anyone else. It should never have happened in the first place. You know, but we most certainly cannot let it happen again. And in order to do that, we need to bring more attention to the fact that this is happening and actively work towards putting a stop to it. And, you know, it's ridiculous that you know, people should have to work so hard to get a crime recognised, you know. But anyway, if you'd like to find out more about the Sophie Lancaster Foundation, there is a link to their website in the description below. You can go over there, find out what they're working on at the moment, and find out what their goal is, because they can explain it better than I can. And if you can help them out in any small way, obviously don't feel obligated to do so, but if you can help them out in any small way, you know, if it's a tiny donation to their website or even something like one of these Sophie wristbands off their web store, you know, the smallest amount can make the biggest difference. And the sooner we bring more attention to this, the sooner we get more people talking about this, the sooner we can help to stamp out prejudice, hatred, and intolerance everywhere. But I'm going to leave that as it is for the time being. Thank you all very, very much for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.